Okay, so my teacher center is situational contextualization for the as abstract. The situation contextualization is an approach to teaching and learning that focuses on the real life situations and context in which language is used. This approach acknowledges that language is not used in isolation but rather in specific situations and contexts that shape its meaning and use. Situational contextualization involves creating learning activities and materials that reflect the context in which learners will use the language and encouraging learners to use the language in realistic situations. For the introduction, situation contextualization is an effective teaching approach that involves linking classroom learning to real life situations. This approach involves creating learning experiences that are relevant to the learner's daily lives and cultural context. It helps learners to connect what they are learning in the classroom to the outside world, making the learning process more meaningful and engaging. This involves tailoring teaching method and materials to the specific needs, interests, and abilities of the learners, and this approach recognizes that every learner is unique and that they can learn best when they are actively engaged in the learning process. This helps develop critical thinking skills, problem solving skills, and effective communication skills, as well as encourages learners to apply their knowledge in real life situations, which is essential for their future success. For the literature review, studies have shown that situational contextualization can have a positive impact on learners' motivation and engagement, as it helps them see the practical value of what they're learning. For example, a study of Bosire and Washinaga in 2016 found that situational contextualization in teaching mathematics improved learners' understanding and retention of subject matter. Similarly, a study by Gobel and Simala, published in 2020, showed that situation contextualization in teaching science increased learners' interest and motivation to learn. As for the article review, I found there are five strengths and weaknesses. The first five strengths are the first one of strengths are meaningful learning. So by using real life situations, the learners can easily understand and remember the content being taught. The second one, active engagement, which is where learners are encouraged to participate actively in the learning process, which enhances their motivation and engagement. Third one, enhancing problem solving skills. This enables learners to identify, solve real world problems by making them better problem solvers. Fourth, facilitating transfer of learning. By linking new knowledge to real life situations, this enhances the transfer of learning from the classroom to real life settings. And the fifth one, flexibility. This teaching method is adaptable to different learning environments, including online and blended learning. As for the five weaknesses, the first one, I found that it is time consuming. The preparation and implementation it takes can be time consuming, especially for new teachers, novice teachers. Second one is limited scope. It may not be suitable for teaching abstract or complex concepts that are not as easily linked to real life situations. Unequal prior knowledge. Learners with different levels of prior knowledge may struggle with situation contextualization because this assumes a certain level of background knowledge, or in other words, a prerequisite. Fourth one, difficulty and assessment. It can be challenging to assess the effectiveness of this teaching method as it often involves subjective measures of learning. And the fifth one, limited generalizability. So, this situation contextualization may not be applicable to all subjects because it makes it limited in the fields of study, on the broad of the fields of study that I can go into. But in conclusion, overall, whether this situation contextualization is a good teaching method or not depends on the specific circumstances of each teaching situation and requires careful consideration of the potential benefits and limitations. But I personally think that it is a very promising method of teaching because students are not really being taught things that that can help them in the real world, their life. This type of teaching that helps you apply your knowledge to real life and how learners will use the language in realistic situations.